Hello, my name is Mark Saleh. I've been a wood turner for about 17 years, and I've been using a product to finish all of my nice vessels and everything. It's called Parfix 3408. It's made by Parson Adhesives out of Rochester Hills, Michigan. I'm going to show you how I finish this on. It's a wipe off, no odor super glue. So what we're going to do to prepare, I've sanded this down, right? And the last thing that you always do, or I always do, is I'm going to sand this with 800 random orbit by hand, no machine sanding. And why we do this is so that there's no concentric circles on your material. The human eyeball cannot detect 800 random orbit scratches. Anyway, we're just going to do this, and that breaks up, it diffuses the light, so that when you take this to the gallery, nobody will be able to see scratches. What I've done here is I've just supported this little piece. It's a little hollow form, and I've supported it in the chuck and with a rubber chucky on the end, which is a real nice, handy thing. All right, I'm going to take out a paper towel. I'm going to wipe the dust off. And then I'm going to apply some very, very thin, odorless Parfix 3408. So we're going to keep it a slow speed. And what we're going to do is we're just going to drizzle it on. I'm going to go down in there. It won't stick to the chucky. Now we're going to come across. We're putting a very liberal coat. We want it completely to soak in the surface. No odor. It's really nice. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a paper towel and we're going to wipe this super glue completely off. I don't want any super glue on the surface of my product. All I'm trying to do is infuse the wood with the super glue. Slow that down, and again I'm going to do my random orbit, and you'll notice that it's not smoking, it's not sticking. I've got plenty of time here. This super glue has a time delay in it, a 40-second time delay before it starts to polymerize, so we can completely work with it. There we go. So now we're just going to let this dry just a little bit. Okay, our super glue has now dried a little bit. In the event that you do not want to let this stay overnight or whatever, you can always just mist it with a little bit of accelerator. But stay about 12 inches away, and that's all you want to do, and that'll be enough to crystallize the surface. Okay, now that we've got that, we're going to take it over and we are going to buff it. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to buff it. You can use white diamond. Once you've sanded it to 800 random orbit, Don't use the Triple E because you'll put scratches on it. I'm going to use a product called Vonax, V-O-N-A-X. It's a plastic polish. It's made in Germany. And Skip Wilbur out of Memphis, Tennessee, introduced me to this. And it's designed strictly to polish acrylic plastic, which is when super glue dries, that's what it is. So you don't want to go above 1700 RPM with this stuff. About 15. And you don't want to cake the wheel up really heavy. Just do it a little bit. So what we've done with the super glue, we've actually infused the cellulose with the super glue, and we have nothing left on the surface. Then we'll just slowly buff this. This is a plastic polish. Then every now and then just hit this. When you're making pens, you put multiple coats on to make it a glass finish. If you want a glass finish, then you can put multiple coats on, but then you're going to have to sand them off and go through the regular process just like on a pen. I only put the one coat on, buff it off, and it's done. I like a high satin finish. Just dress your wheel with a little bit periodically. Try to get right on that edge. And I'll go around this way one time, then I'll come back. We'll get a little cross hatch in there. Okay, and if you can see in the light, you can see this beautiful, beautiful finish. It's just wonderful. It's totally waterproof. It's clear. It will not darken down or anything, yellow the wood. And your product is basically all done. The only thing I would have to do on this would be assemble the base, which I've made out of African blackwood. I'll assemble the top, which I've made out of African blackwood. That goes in there. All right. And then the little tea light candle goes in the top. Thank you very much for listening, and if you have any questions, you can always get Mark Soleil at www.marksoleil.com. Or you can email me at marksoleil@me.com. Excuse me. And again, the product is Parfix 3408, made by Parson Adhesives in Rochester Hills, Michigan. And it's Parson Adhesives .com. If you want a medium weight, no odor super glue with a time delay in it, they make a product called 3460, which is, instead of being the thin 5 centipoids, this is now 45 centipoids. So if anybody has any allergies to super glue, just remember it has the time delay in it, but there's no odor. This has a 50-second time delay. This has a 40-second time delay. Anyway, check them out. I've been using this stuff for about 8 or 9 years, and if you're doing any flat work, cabinet work, or whatever, you do the same thing like you're refinishing a kitchen cabinet door. Wipe it on, wipe it off, put your buffer right in your hand drill, and you can buff it out. And it makes it simple, it's odorless, it's quick, and it's over. Thank you very much.